Hello everyone, welcome and welcome back. I'm Caitlin and today I want to do a book haul, and this is a book haul specific to some of my absolute favourite New Zealand and mainly Auckland based bookshops. Shout out to supporting local, so important to do. I have so many books here, and the main reason why is because I was really generously given a huge voucher to spend at one of these stores, so I was able to get so many books, but I have also bought some from other places too, and I'm going to talk you through them. The first place I purchased from is a fairly new business. They started I think at the end of the first lockdown that New Zealand had. It's women led and women run, and I'm just thrilled to be supporting it, and that is Bookity Book Books. They do mainly service New Zealand, but I know that they do ship to Australia as well for anybody in Australia. Of course these books will be available from other places nearer to you, but I was thrilled to finally make a purchase from them because I just think they are the absolute best. Not to mention, when they send you the books, they wrap them in this gorgeous environmentally friendly paper, and I'm just so excited. They've been sitting on top of my shelves for ages because I wanted to wait to unwrap them until this video. Without further ado, let's do the first one. Oh, bit of ASMR. Oh, we've got a note. Caitlin, thank you so much for your amazing order. What a brilliant selection. Happy reading, Mandy. That is so cute. First I got from them is White Teeth by Zadie Smith. I've been dying to read a Zadie Smith book, and I believe this was her first novel, the one that really catapulted her to huge author fame, and I'm excited. Not entirely sure what it's about, but if you know me, you know that I don't really give a what a book's about. I just buy based off vibes. This book haul is going to be a lot of that, by the way, so sorry if you're somebody who likes a lot of plot and synopsis, you shan't be finding that here. This is just a really cute little paperback, very long book, but hopefully one I'll get to soon. Next up, beautiful blue coloured paper this time. Two books in this pouch. This is The New Me by Halle Butler, and if there's anything you need to know, it's this quote on the front that says, "A dark comedy of female rage," aka the title of my autobiography when I finally write it. So I'm pretty sure this is a dark comedy, maybe even a satire about capitalism. It's about a young woman working in like a corporate environment. Nice and short. I'm really interested to read this. Next up we have The Great Godin. This is by Meg Rossoff, and we love a wordplay. We love a title taken from The Great Gatsby. Now I think they've very clearly taken the title from The Great Gatsby because I think this is like a summertime romance where there's like a love triangle and like, you know, that kind of vibe. And then suddenly there's a serpent in paradise and the consequences will be devastating. So I think an outsider comes in and yeah. Oh my gosh, there's like no text on the pages. Oh, I hope this will be a really nice quick read. I think from the reviews I've seen this is kind of a love or hate book, but hoping I'll like it. So more I got from Bookity Book Books. Hood Feminism by Mickey Kendall. This is something I am very interested in because I've been really taken with nonfiction lately. I've never really been one to read it before, but I recently read a book called Know Your Place, which I absolutely loved. I think everybody should read that. I also read Why I'm No Longer Talking to White People About Race, and I also read Women Don't Know You Pretty, and that one was okay. It wasn't really anything I didn't already know, but I really enjoyed the earlier two. I want to keep on my nonfiction kick. Hood Feminism is meant to be fantastic, and it's about obviously intersectional feminism and how many struggles which may not at first appear to be struggles of feminism are actually feminist issues. Everything's political, guys. Come on, we know this. I'm actually currently reading the autobiography of Malcolm X, but this may well be my next non-fiction that I pick up afterwards. Next I got Sisters by Daisy Johnson. Hello, this cover, are you kidding? I'm obsessed. I also love that it's really short. Obviously it's about two young women who are sisters. I think they moved to like a new place with their mother, and it's about all their relationships and stuff, and I see that in the blurb it talks about Shirley Jackson, who of course wrote about sisters in We Have Always Lived in the Castle. Read that recently, loved it, so that is a parallel that really gets me going for this. Final thing I got from Bookity Book Books. Oh my god, it's so pretty. I can't believe how gorgeous it is. Isn't that stunning? This is Pocahontas, and it is a poetry collection by Tayi Tibble, and I am very, very excited. Homegrown, obviously. We love to support New Zealand and especially Māori authors. Pocahontas is about beauty, activism, power and popular culture with compelling guile, a darkness, a deep understanding and sensuality. I'm really, really interested in this, and like I said, I've been really vibing non-fiction. I'm definitely keen to pick up some poetry soon. It's nice to really break up the format of what you're reading, and this is of course just absolutely so stunning. I love it, I love it, I love it. If it's good, and I'm sure it will be, I might end up getting it as like Christmas presents for some people because who wouldn't want this? So the next shop that I went to is a shop called Timeout. It is a bookstore in Auckland and I absolutely love it. It has such an amazing range, including like gorgeous classics. They have some of the Penguin English Library editions and just so many fantastic things, but I reined it in. I didn't go absolutely crazy. I bought 3 things. The first is a Penguin Little Black classic to add to my collection of these, and I got some Yeats poetry. So this is A Terrible Beauty is Born, and of course it has the classic, "But being poor, I have only my dreams, spread my dreams under your feet. So tread lightly, for you tread upon my dreams." And Yeats, obviously fantastic poet, and I am excited to just pick this up and fly through it. This is a book that I only heard about recently, but it just fully grasped me and pulled me in as soon as I heard about it, and that is 1,000 Ships. So Natalie Haynes has, I think, written again a retelling of the Iliad, I think, but from the women's perspective. Yes, so it's about the fall of Troy. It says, powerfully told from an all-female perspective, in 1,000 Ships, Natalie Haynes puts the women, girls and goddesses at the center of the story. That's what we love to hear. The next is a book that I actually mentioned in my end of year TBR, and that is Ghosts by Dolly Alderton. I'm very excited for this. It is a modern adult contemporary about love, about getting ghosted, lots of fun stuff, you know. This is the first fictional work by Alderton. She's written non-fiction before, and this is my cute little Timeout bookstore bookmark. Oh wait, I actually got some really cute bookmarks from them too. Let me grab them. Here you go, you get a peek at what I'm currently reading. Autobiography of Malcolm X. How gorgeous is this? This is of course the composition with yellow, blue and red from the Tate Modern. And then I also got this cute one which I have in Jane Eyre right now. It says, I heart books, which I do sometimes. So obviously the 2 stores I've mentioned thus far have been independent bookstores. Dog's barking. Hi hun. Love you so much. Please calm down. Any moment now. I think there might be a courier van outside. Maybe I have some book mail. Anyway, like I said, those are independent bookstores. Oh my god, Wolfie, shut up, hun. I did also buy a couple of books from Whitcoulls, which is kind of like Barnes and Noble, Waterstones, I guess, like the kind of chain bookstores that are overseas. That's our like New Zealand equivalent, except it's super expensive and they never have hardbacks or like any of the books you want to find. However, from them I bought the Savage Colonizer book. This is a poetry collection by Tusiata Avia, and she's written a really striking confrontational book of poetry addressed to people from Captain Cook who colonized New Zealand through to like poetry about the Black Lives Matter movement today. I've actually already read this, which is why I have some tabs in here, and holy moly, it was a journey. I got a lot out of it. Since I have already read it and it's poetry, so it'll be quick, I just want to read you a couple of things that I really loved in it. So this is just one stanza from Martin Luther King Day. Gifted in black, open your heart, souls intact, young, gifted in black. Another stanza from the same poem. Slaveocracy wins the day, you can't charity us away. No one ever makes $1 billion, they take $1 billion. It's all gonna get cut and clipped. Biting edges make the helipad. Helipad party, oil party, widget party. Love it. This one's from Massacre. The women say that they have been fighting since Captain Cook landed, and after they grieve, they will fight. Thoroughly enjoyed this, and it's definitely a worthwhile read. And the other book I bought from Whitcoulls because I couldn't find it anywhere else. These Violent Delights by Chloe Gong, one of my most anticipated books. I'm so ready. Romeo and Juliet retelling. You guys know the story. It's everywhere at the moment. I'm so excited to read this. Okay, now we move on to the bulk. These lovely books I got from Unity Books. They have a store in Auckland and in Wellington, and they are just such a lovely bookshop. Really lovely people. I had such a good time in there. I spent hours in there just browsing, and they were so helpful and kind, and they actually gave me some recommendations. So quite a few of the books I got I just bought from their recommendation, which was really fun to do. And yeah, here we go. Okay, let's start off with a bang. House of Leaves. Meant to be the scariest book ever written. I'm definitely scared of the format because it's got all kinds of things going on in here. Like, sorry, I'm scared. I'll read this one day. I know quite a few people for whom it is a favorite book, so I am really interested to get to it one day when I'm like mentally and emotionally ready, you know? I know Chloe also bought it recently, so maybe we can like buddy read it and hold each other's hands. Okay, so I bought quite a few of the little Penguin Modern tiny books. They are so cute and they're only a couple of dollars each. I'm a real big fan of these because I think it's a really good way to taste test an author, especially for classical authors. You might be unsure if you're going to vibe with their work. You might not want to start with one of their novels. This is a really good way for you to try it out. And for that reason, I got quite a few from authors that I know I love and authors that I've never heard of and people I want to read more from, all kinds of things. So I'll run you through them quickly. Daphne du Maurier, The Breakthrough. I recently read my first Daphne du Maurier with Rebecca and I just adored it, so obviously want to read more work by her. The Gigolo by Françoise Sagan, and I've read Bonjour Tristesse and I love that book. That's by this author, so I'm really interested to read this too. The Master's Tools Will Never Dismantle the Master's House. Like, has a more beautiful sentence ever been written? I don't think so. It's by Audre Lorde and I definitely want to read their work. She is a self-described black lesbian mother warrior poet. Give me it. So these are some essays. Albert Camus, I've read The Stranger years ago and I really liked it. I'd like to read more Camus, so this is Create Dangerously. I've never read anything by Anais Nin, but I bought The Veiled Woman. I think this is like erotica. Yeah. Transgressive desires and sexual encounters are recounted in these 4 pieces from one of the greatest writers of erotic fiction. I got The Finger by William Burroughs. Lots of people have lots to say about William Burroughs, as they should. He was kind of a piece of shit. I read Queer and it is one of my favorite classics, so I do want to read some more by Burroughs. You just can't trust men, you know. George Orwell, Notes on Nationalism. I've read Animal Farm, yet to read 1984. Love Animal Farm so much. Really excited to read 1984, so this is another George Orwell TBR. And lastly, James Baldwin, Dark Days. Obviously, I'm just absolutely ready to submit myself to James Baldwin's writing. I'm hoping to read Giovanni's Room soon. I'm really interested to read this as well. Okay, so I actually got another William Burroughs. I got Naked Lunch because it is one of the most infamous books ever and I definitely want to read it. Also just always looking to expand my Penguin Modern Classics collection. Yeah, I might hate it, you never know, but I really liked the writing style of Queer, so might end up loving it. I got Possession by A.S. Byatt, and this has been recommended to me by a friend of mine for a really long time now and I just haven't been able to find it anywhere, and apparently it has like secret history vibes. So hello, I think it's about like academics who like communicate through time, or that might be completely wrong, but I am very excited. It's nice and floppy and it's obviously beautiful. So I spoke briefly before about authors that you want to read more from, and for me, I really want to try James Joyce. I've never read any James Joyce and I found a copy of Dubliners, so I'm really excited to sink my teeth into this at some stage. I was showing my mum everything that I bought and she mentioned that she loves Dubliners, and when she was quite a bit younger, I think like 19 or something, she started doing this thing for herself where every couple of weeks she would buy herself a book, and Dubliners was the first book that she bought and read when she was doing that, so I'm excited to have that little story behind it. I was hoping that I'd find some Murakami while I was there, and I ended up finding this absolutely gorgeous edition of the Wind Up Bird Chronicle. I've never seen anything like this before and it was so reasonably priced for what it is, so I'm really excited to get to this. I still haven't read any Murakami. I do have The Colourless Pilgrimage up there. I'm not sure whether I'll read this one or that one first, but very excited for whichever it ends up being. Next up, I got The White Book by Han Kang, and they are a Korean author. I've got The Vegetarian, but I still haven't read it. That was by them as well. This is an interesting book to describe. I just picked it up because it looked so beautiful and I recognized Han Kang's name, and it's absolutely stunning. Like, can you stand it? It is quite difficult to describe, so I'll just quickly read what they've written. The White Book is meditation on color, beginning with a simple list of white things. It is a book about mourning, rebirth, and the tenacity of the human spirit. It is a stunning investigation of the fragility, beauty, and strangeness of life. I picked up the book that won the Booker Prize this year, called The Discomfort of Evening, and I think it's by a Scandinavian author, maybe a Swedish author, and I think it's a thriller. Oh, the Netherlands, sorry. This is a debut, wow. Yeah, I think it's like a thriller. I don't really know much about it except it has a stunning cover in it. won the Booker. So hopefully that has steered me well. Got a few non-fiction. I got Women, Race and Class by Angela Davis, from whom I really want to read. I have seen a lot of really amazing, powerful, articulate, important interviews with Angela Davis, and it's high time I read her work. I think this will fit in nicely with the non-fiction kick I am on, and of course reading about women, race and class from a Black woman's perspective is sure to be very illuminating and important. I also got Invisibility Blues from Pop to Theory, and this was recommended to me by the staff at Unity Books, as was this. I think this looks fascinating. So first published in 1990, Michelle Wallace's Invisibility Blues is widely regarded as a landmark in the history of Black feminism. That was kind of enough for me already, but I read a couple of the first sentences and I was just like, hell yeah. So really excited to also read this. The last few books I have were also recommended to me by the staff at Unity Books. I'm just so thankful. I had so much fun talking to them and they were just giving me so many ideas. It's always great to be referred to books. I think that's my favorite way to discover them, is just word of mouth and other people's opinions, you know, if they're good opinions. I've never read any Herman Hesse before, but I bought Demian mainly because the plot stood out to me, and the writing style when I read the first page or so stood out to me as the type of classic that I actually really love. It's not quite stream of consciousness, but it's close. It's a lot of run-on sentences, kind of similar to Catcher in the Rye, that kind of thing, which I really like. Next up, I was recommended the author A.M. Holmes, which I'd never heard of. This is called Days of Awe, and I think it's a short story collection actually, and I think they're kind of like domestic, marital, emotional, torrid, noir kind of vibes, and tales that explore attachments to each other. Holmes peers beneath the surface of what it means to be a family and into our marriages and our secret histories. Really interested in that. Not usually a short story fan, and I didn't actually realize this was an anthology of short stories when I bought it, but hopefully I'll still enjoy it. I got Fates and Furies by Lauren Groff, and this is one I'm really excited for. It's recommended it by the staff, and I looked up on Goodreads and I said hello to that plot. Again, it's kind of like a marriage intrigue vibe. I think it's about a married couple who have been married for 20 years and like looking back on their story and how their lives have changed and stuff like that. I do just love like a literary fiction, adult, contemporary, you know? And then lastly, I got The Idiot, also recommended to me by the lovely people at the bookstore. This is by Elif Batman, and I think this is a campus novel. Yeah, it's at Harvard. When she was showing this to me, she was like, it's basically like Sally Rooney except a bit funnier, and I was like, pardon? I was like, sold. Sally Rooney comparison, sold. This might be something I pick up quite soon, just because Sally Rooney vibes, I don't know how much longer I can resist. So those are all the books that I have recently acquired from the lovely stores of New Zealand. Thank you to everybody who helps support the book industry here by supporting our authors, by publishing their work, by selling their work, by doing things like start an awesome new business like Bookity Book Books. Like, I just feel very grateful to be in such good company here in Aotearoa. I'm aware this is quite a strange collection of books, not books you typically see on booktube, but hopefully you got something out of it. Hopefully you're interested in some of them and you can track them down if you are. Thank you so much for watching, and I am gonna go now try find space for all of these on my shelves. Anyway, I'll see you in my next video. Bye.